I just came back from the hospital visiting my uncle, and it was so good to see him after not seeing him for so long. I was so happy to see him, and I won't be on tonight. So I just came on to say hi and see how everybody's doing. I know no one's on because nobody didn't think I was coming on today, but I just came on to say hi because I just got back from the hospital from visiting my uncle, and he's doing good. He looks really good. I have pictures and have a video of him where he's saying hi to everybody. I was gonna put him on live, but then he has a feeding tube in his nose. I don't think he would have mattered, but he would have said, "Hi, Jason, how you doing?" Hi. So I just came back from the hospital, and so that's what I'm doing. And it was bringing me back memories, everyone, because like with my uncle, we would have coffee dates every Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning, like clockwork. I would drive to Mount Joy, and we would have coffee dates at Dunkin' Donuts. And we would sit and we would talk and we would laugh. And sometimes we'd even cry about stuff. It all depends what was going on that week, right? And he is, I don't want to talk about him in past tense because he's still living, but I miss having coffee with him every Saturday. And when we would have coffee, he was already, he was in his 80s then. Now he's 90. He can't drive no more, everyone. He really shouldn't even have been driving back when we had coffee because he had a big SUV and he would run up over the curbs and stuff. And I'm like, Uncle, how do I need to follow you home? Because you're like running up over the curbs, right? No, honey, I got that. Okay. But, so I'm sitting there and it was so good to see him. And I went into tears because I was thinking about those coffee dates and I was thinking about coffee dates with all of you. And I'm thinking, man, now it's different because now I'm having coffee dates with all my loves right here. And I just wish that, I just always wish that there were so many more coffee dates with my old pal. But every Saturday, like in the morning, I would go and drive to Mount Joy to have coffee with him at the Dunkin' Donuts. And it really hit me. I know it's on, I know. And it really hit me. So now it's like the coffee dates are with all of you. Or whoever someday that blessed one would be, right? I am. So I was really thinking, man, life is so precious. And then I really, something hit me really hard. Like, so my uncle, in bad shape, pneumonia and everything. And I haven't seen him, so I'm like, where are you at? Well, now he's at the nursing home. But, so I was sitting and thinking how precious life is. And I'm talking to him and he's asking me how everybody's doing, right? Even people that he knew in the family that I didn't talk to. So I had a feeling like something wasn't right with Uncle Hal, okay? Because I haven't seen him in so long because my aunt was so mean and she just died last year. So talking to him and I was holding his hand and we were reminiscing. He kept asking me how all these different people were they knew darn well didn't like. No offense, but anyhow. So he goes, wait a minute, everybody, you gotta hear this. You gotta hear this. Because the sweet memories of your memory are so beautiful, right? And it makes me sad, it makes me want to cry. Because I'm here talking about our coffee dates and everything. And something wasn't like registering, right? And I was about to cry because I'm like, there's something's not right. memories is so important, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm talking about how I love the coffee dates and blah, 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 and I wish I had them and blah, 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 you know how I am. And he goes to me, he looks at me and he goes, well, where's Tina at? All right, almost about fainted. I almost about fainted. I literally had tears in my eyes, but I didn't want to show that because he is 90 years old. And at this time, I realized that the coffee dates were only in our memories, everybody, only in our memories. Because when I realized that at this point, the coffee dates were so precious to me, but they were only a memory from my Uncle Hal. He didn't remember that. He didn't even remember me. And here, Uncle Howie has, you know, probably Alzheimer's or something. He didn't even remember me. And I couldn't even hardly grasp around it, everybody. It hurt me so bad. Because when you're enjoying life and you're meeting your uncle or your aunt or whoever it may be, your family member, for coffee every day. I mean, every single Saturday morning we would meet at Dunkin' Donuts for coffee and talk. And then suddenly those memories you're holding in your mind are for you. Because when you go to see them, they don't even remember nothing. They don't even remember your name. And suddenly he was wondering where Tina was. And I got it at this time. Those coffee dates only meant something to me at this point, because at this point now in his life, at this time, at 90 years old, those memories of coffee were held in his mind for that time of memory, right? And it just, oh my God, it just took my breath away. And so he's in a nursing home now, and I said, Uncle Hal, I said, so from now on, I said, we'll have to have new coffee dates. And he looked at me, and I said, because now I can come visit you at the nursing home, and I'll bring you the Dunkin' Donuts, or maybe if they'll let me bring you out for the day, you can spend the day with me. We'll see, right? And he said, okay. And so I just hit my chest so bad when he said, where's Tina at? And he kept looking at my hair, he kept looking at me. And I said, well, you know how my hair changes, you know how because when the last time he saw me, my hair was dark, it was black, my natural hair. And that was a few years ago. And so he didn't know this hair here. Okay, so. But everyone, never take anyone for granted in your life that you love so much. I loved my Uncle Howard so much. And even though he was married to my aunt, I felt like he was a father to me, right? All right, Nicholas. And even though he was married to my aunt, I was more closer to him than my aunt. And we sat and we would laugh and talk over coffee every Saturday. Every Saturday was our day for coffee in the morning. And I got up early and I got dressed and I drove to Mount Joy. And we didn't care if it was raining. We didn't care, honestly, if it was thunder and lightning, everyone. This is about our coffee dates that we had together every Saturday. No joke. And then, you know, the guy at the time when I was dating, then the coffee dates, then he was incorporated with them. But it just goes to show that, you know, life is so beautiful, everyone. I'm not on here to make a speech. I'm not even on here to do that. I just want to say hi because I won't be on tonight. But memories are so precious, everyone. And as you get older, suddenly sometimes you might not ever remember that again, right? as tears were coming out of my eyes, and we were holding hands, my uncle and I said, Uncle Hal, I said, guess what? And he said, what? I said, from here on out, I guess we'll have to make a new coffee date story, right? And he said, yeah. So, I'll take you on those journeys of when I go to nursing home and have those coffee dates with Uncle Hal, because hey, after all, you're my coffee dates too all the time, right? But it really, I mean, Uncle Hal was the most gentlest man. He had a soft voice. He was the most kindest human being to walk the earth. And my Dunkin' Donuts coffee will never be the same now, because now I remember that Uncle Hal used to, he remembered that, but now suddenly it's all in my dreams and all in my mind, right, about the coffee dates, but not his anymore. And so when you hold on to beautiful memories with people, they're the kind you cherish forever, everybody. I mean, they're the kind that is everlasting. Memories and memories do fade, because obviously my uncle Howard didn't even remember about our coffee dates that we had for many years, every day on a Saturday morning. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up, everybody. This is beyond sad. I'm so sad. Right, Jason? But I'm sad, but I get it, everyone. I get it that, you know, the Alzheimer's setting in. Yeah, exactly. And I just, it hit me so hard when he was asking where everybody was at, and he goes, oh, where's Tina? Where's Tina? And I said, Uncle Hal, I said, I'm sitting right here. I'm sitting right here. And he looked. The memoirs of the coffee dates, right? I swear I'm going to write a book or something about these coffee dates, this craziness. So, you know, everyone, I was thinking about life and love, and, you know, I'm a single woman right now, so I don't have anybody to have coffee dates with, except if I go on a date, right? But find someone that you just love so much and have coffee dates with them every day. You know, I mean, me and my uncle used to meet every Saturday, and I would go like this, and I would, so we would meet, it's Holden Park, we'd go, we'd meet at a spot, and then he'd get in my car, I would gas the car, put the gas in the car, then stop real quick, you know, and he would laugh, right? Seriously, and he loved that because he knew that I had that goofball sense of humor, and he was old then, but, you know, and so I would go, and then we would go like this, right? Seriously. And he would laugh, and I would laugh. And that's priceless memories, everybody. You have no idea. The memories that my uncle Howard and I shared on our coffee dates were beyond just, it's just, the coffee dates were so beautiful, right? Can't make that stuff up, everybody. I'm just so, yeah, that is deep. Thank you, Nicholas. So get this van I bought from this guy, right? No lie. So while we were gonna drive, I was getting this van for vending. And I thought, okay, Uncle Hal, come with me. Oh my gosh, we almost got killed, everybody. We almost got killed, I'll tell you why. Uncle Hal says, honey, I don't think we should buy this van. I said, but Uncle Hal, it's only $700. I'm gonna get this van. No joke. So we were gonna, so the guy, when we got there, he was an older man, he was working on the car. You know, everything happens for a reason, everybody. And I don't know why God just figures just to do this, you know. He understands that, you know, I have a courageous heart. Just let me just use me to get this done. So this older gentleman, this older Spanish man, he was working on this van, right? And the oil's leaking out the bottom. True story. And I'm looking at all the potential it had, right? And it was an old van, but it had potential. And Uncle Hal's like, I don't know about this, honey. I don't know. I'm like, Uncle Hal, don't worry. This van will be good. So go register, transfer, get tags. Friend of mine sitting in front. Uncle Howie is in the back. And we took this van for a drive before we went to go get coffee. And we went up this big hill. And Uncle Hal's in the back going like this. My friend's in the front bracing. And the van was just, I don't even know why I bought this, but there's stories to this. Hold on a minute. So we go up this hill, and when I'm coming down this hill like this, guess what? It was shaking, gyrating. I almost lost control. Uncle Hal's in the back. I looked in the back rear view mirror. Uncle Hal is like, he's about to die. He's going like this. Uncle Hal's like, my friend's like this. He's bracing. Him and Uncle Hal are bracing for life. And we almost did not make it down this big hill, if you know what I mean. And I'm here like this behind the steering wheel. I don't even think we even went for coffee that day. We were all shook up. As a matter of fact, it was steaming, smoking, and we just got it. Just got it. Here's the story behind the van. So I just got it. We almost lost our life in it. And so I went to call the guy, and I said, sir, come on now. What is going on with this? He said, well, you know, he goes, I knew it had some problems. He said, but me and my wife, we were supposed to make all these sandwiches for our church, and we didn't have the money. And he said, and the money that you gave us to get the van, and he was an older man, I knew he wasn't lying. And he said, we were so grateful when you bought the van, because then we had money to get not just to get ourselves food, but to actually make some sandwiches for the church. I couldn't ask the man for the money back, everybody. That would, so God used me to get that van. I told Uncle Hal, so that man can have money to get him and his wife. They were older people. As a matter of fact, they were probably just as old as Uncle Hal. They were probably in their late 70s, going on 80s. And they were so grateful that I bought the van. And the little old man, he was out there trying to work on this van, and I knew something was up, because God always puts me in positions with my intuition. I knew something was going on. I had a feeling God just brought me there to that van for a reason. Even though my friend and my Uncle Hal were like, Tina, don't buy this van. And I thought, something's not right. I gotta get this van. I know this older gentleman is underneath her working so hard to get this thing running. Something's not right. And so I tested the older gentleman. I said, how about if you take $500 for that? He goes, oh honey, I really need $700. I said, okay, there's a reason why God put me. Okay, Tina, now you just go ahead, you right? And it's just you, Tina. You don't have any little kids. It's just you. You give this older couple $700 for this old van that I know absolutely is not going to work. So God used me, everybody, to help this older couple, and they were so grateful. And when I called the older gentleman to tell him, I had tears in my eyes because I felt bad for calling him about something that, you know, I should have had a mechanic look at. But in God's eyes, he wanted me to help those people, and sight unseen, right? I saw, and the older man, he told me, he said, honey, I've been working on this motor all day, trying to get this thing right for you. So, you know, God uses us in certain ways, everybody. You just don't know. You just don't know. You don't know. And, you know, he uses me over and over again, you know, to help people, because I guess it's because I just don't have anybody but myself, everyone. I always have to look at the brighter side of this, right? And so I said, oh, well, that's fine. I said, no problems. I'll get it fixed. I wasn't even worried about it at that time, everybody. I wasn't worried about the $700 that I lost. I'm just glad that me, Uncle Howard, and my friend survived, right? And I didn't tell the older gentleman how we almost went down this hill and almost wrecked, okay? Because he was already in a state, him and his wife, with having hardly nothing. So I wasn't about to tell this old man that, you know, the van was that bad off. So the moral of the story is, everybody, you just don't know. You don't know nothing about how God's going to use you, what your coffee dates are going to be like. You don't even know. I don't even think we even had coffee that day. As a matter of fact, we didn't. Actually, we didn't. We were so shook up. We were so nervous, praising God that we got down the hill, which my intuition already said we were going to get down the hill. And so I junked the van. I didn't want to. I wish I would have kept it to this day. But I junked the van, and I got like $450 for it. I'm not lying to you. So I did get money back, right? So I did get $450 back, junking it, because it was one of them old school heavy ones with the real metal, so it was real heavy. And so, you know, I was thinking about life, everyone. Life is so, we can lose money, we can gain money, we can be happy, we can be sad, we can do all these things, but at the end of the day, it's how you live your life that matters the most. What memories are you holding in your heart? Are you holding sad? Are you having sad? Happy? Are you just being angry at the world? There's no need to, everybody. Life is a journey, and I mean, Uncle Howard and I've been on a journey, and so the memories are in my heart and in my mind. They're already gone from his, but I'm sure they still remain in his heart if he could remember, right? So I told him, I said, we'll pick them up. We'll pick these new coffee dates up. I'm going to see if this place will come and let me take you for the day. And I said, Uncle Howard, oh God. I said, and I was teasing him. I said, oh, maybe I'll keep you. Now, you know I can't, because he's on a feeding tube and everything. They probably won't even let me take him, everyone. He's on a feeding tube. You know, I'm just pretending to make him smile. And so he smiled. I told him I'd tap him out some art to put all around this room, where he's at the assisted living. He loved it. I said, what are your colors now, Uncle Hal? I said, what's your colors now? Because he used to love blue. And I said, well, what's your colors now? And he goes, oh, he said blue. Of course, blue and red. And he said green. I said, okay. I said, so what I'll do is, I said, I'll tap out 3 pieces of art for you. I said, 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 green to sit in your room. And his eyes lit up so big time, it was not even funny. Yeah, that's great. They were so worried. Well, the older gentleman from the church, he was so worried. He said, my wife was worried so much that we would have no money to make the sandwiches for the church. I guess it was older people that they were making these sandwiches for everybody. So you don't never know how you're going to help people and what it's for. You just don't know, right? You just honestly don't know. And they were so grateful. And I couldn't get mad because, you know, after all, I saw the oil pouring out of there. I saw the poor He was so happy. He said they were able to buy food. That's what he told me. Now, everybody, I don't lie to none of you now. You know that. And my Uncle Howard, man, he was so sad we were just real sad when we were talking to the guy and he was telling us this, and he wasn't lying because he was the same age as my Uncle Howard. He was like 80 some, so I knew they weren't lying. Old people ain't got time to be fibbing like that over stuff. But I just realized in this life, everybody, you got to be grateful, because you got to be really, really grateful. Really grateful. Really grateful. Hold on a second. Really, really, really grateful. And this traffic isn't grateful to me, but hold on a minute. Oh, okay, honey, Nicholas. I love you, honey. Just come back again, sweetheart. Come back again, baby. Sorry. But I realized that just God always used me to help other people. I swear, He always uses me to help other people, because what I don't have, I mean, my 2 sons are grown adults. It's just me, and I see where other people they're struggling. They have little kids, this and that, and it breaks my heart, everybody. I'm like, man, I'm grateful, right? I'm really, truly, honestly grateful. I really am. I'm serious. So if God's going to use me to help others with something, I guess He's just going to have to use me. That's how I look at it. But I have to go in the Dollar Tree. And I mean, I got to rest and everything when I get back, everybody. I ain't guaranteeing that I'll be on tonight, but I'll be on tomorrow, Lord willing. But yeah, but so there's so many coffee stories, right? So many that we could tell and stuff and think about. But boy, when you get older, you got to respect your memory, everyone. You got to respect your mind, because not everybody's doing that. You know, you got to respect the good memories that you have with people, with good people. Thank you, Jason. It's just, I mean, going to Dunkin' Donuts, it's going to be hard to be, I'm trying to hold on to this, right? Because Uncle Hal knew that I loved that coffee there. And I just, to hold on to that in my heart and in my mind, right? Can't make this stuff up, everybody. It's in my heart. It's in my heart. And I'm so grateful. So that's what I wanted to tell you, is everybody, that just be grateful. Be grateful you can remember good times with people, right? And go on coffee dates. Have coffee dates with older folk in your family. Take them to coffee, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Uncle Hal used to meet me for the coffee. And, we had good times. Hope this guy ain't pulling out new, so I don't know, everybody. Just like I said, life's to be lived. Where did he come out of? A truck? Or he's in his pajamas? People are walking. I mean, man, it's getting sad out there, everybody. There's so much stuff going on. But everybody, I love you, so I'll see you when I see you. If I can come on tonight, I'll let you know. But right now, I probably won't come on. I won't be on until tomorrow, everybody, because it's a whole nother situation. I have to redo my whole beauty store. I have to set up everything, put all the pictures back in. That's a whole nother story, everybody. Whole nother story. So I'll see you. That's why, it's like tonight, I won't be on. But I'm so grateful for, spending the time with my uncle. And I'll see you then. I love you. Bye.